Welcome back, Renegades. Today we got the deck profile for Sanji and the Strawhat crew for OP10 meta. We're also got a couple bonus gameplay videos for you. Usopp, G5 Luffy, Robin, and Sanji. So if you have not liked, shared, and subscribed, please do so. If you like the content, your friends may as well. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the deck profile for Sanji from PRBO1. This is going to be for the OP10 meta. This version here is version 1. Sanji joins the Straw Hat crew. This does not have any starter deck 21 cards in it, but I will be doing a version 2 with that. By the time that this deck profile was made and the gameplay videos, the starter deck 21 was not available on the Sims at the time. That disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. So Sanji is a 5 life, 5k leader with a Straw Hat crew. Activate main once per turn. Up to one of your cost 8 or lower characters without an on-play effect gains rush until the end of this turn. So we're running 4 copies of Sanji from OP10. It's a 2-drop, 3000 power, 2k counter. With the ability of activate main once per turn, you may add 1 card from your life area to your hand. This character gains 2000 power during this turn. Then give this character up to 2 rested Dawn cards. So this card can come down on your first swing. The first turn you're able to swing, you can bring it down and you can use its effect, giving it rush with the leader and swing 7k. Really powerful, great card. Worst case scenario, it's a 2k counter in hand, but this guy usually is like one of the only 2ks that I drop early. Up next, we have Nami from OP01. She's the searcher for the deck. Just a 1-2, 1-drop, 2000 power, 1k counter. She looks at the top 5 cards of your deck to grab a Straw Hat card. It doesn't have to be character, just a card, Straw Hat card. She can't grab herself, and then adds it to the hand, rest the bottom of the deck in any order. Typical searcher. This is the one we're using for the Straw Hats in this build. Up next, we're running 3 copies of OP01 Monkey D. Luffy. 2-drop, 3000 power character with count 1k counter. Has Dawn 2. This character cannot be KO'd when battling strike attribute characters. A lot of people don't realize this effect is a thing, so they might try to take it out and realize at the point that it has an effect like that. But main thing is activate main once per turn. You can give this character up to 2 rested Dawn cards, so you can play it down, use this effect, make it a 5k, use leader, you can rush with it. Good card. We're only running 3 copies. It's probably one of the weaker cards in the deck, and it's probably one that I'll be taking out for this version 2 that I'll be working on. I'm having a lot of fun with Usopp. I finally found a red Usopp that's playable. I mean, people probably argue with that, the Usopp fans out there. But this is the OP04 version. It's a 4-drop, 5000 power, 1k counter. It has on KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original power of 5000 or less. So I like this against the blue decks because they mostly just play out 5k bodies. Granted, this is probably going to get bounced or bottom deck, but it's just a good body to come down, give it rush, and let them answer it. If they're not going to try to KO it, then you're just going to keep swinging with us every turn. We're running 3 copies, so we don't want to get flooded with them, but we want to at least see one. And worst case, it's a 1k. This card right here, Gold D. Roger from OP09, 10-drop, 13,000 power, no counter, has rush, and when your opponent activates blocker, if you or one of your opponents have 0 life, you win the game. This is just a cheese card. This will be coming out for version 2. It's just really good because we're an aggressive deck, so we're beating down the opponent constantly. So in their ditch effort to kind of wall up, we can drop this guy and get through it for the game. He's fun. Definitely not needed for the deck, but it's a one-of. Up next, we got some OP10 cards. We have Sanji from the Punk Hazard arc. This is where they were body shifted. The 3-drop, 3000 power, 1k counter. Your turn. This character gains 3000 power. So this is a 6k swing with rush, with leader, on your 3 Dawn turn. And then if they answer it with an KO, you get to draw a card, so it replaces itself. Great card. It is Sanji, so this Dami can find it. I know it's going to be confusing because of the way these characters are body shifted. Great card. This is a 4-of, and it probably won't change into version 2 either. So up next from OP10, we have Tony Chopper. It's a 4-drop, 4000 power. It's one of our 2Ks. Has blocker. And on your opponent's turn, this character has plus 2,000. So it's a 4/6 blocker on your opponent's turn. Really good. And it's 2k counter in hand. So this is just a good card. OP10 gave us the means to make the Strawhat deck viable with Sanji. Up next, we have Nami in her Frankie body, the 5/7 1k counter vanilla. Just a big body. It's a 5/7 body. You can bring it down, giving it rush. Your opponents don't expect to see these big bodies coming out of nowhere turn after turn, and that's the way we consistently apply pressure. Four of our Frankie in the chopper body, Punk Hazard, Straw Hat Pirates tags, which is cool, from OP10. This is a 6/8 vanilla with a 1k counter. Same concept. These vanillas here that we're going to be going over, they're just big bodies. We're just deploying them down turn after turn, giving them rush with Sanji to constantly apply pressure to the opponent's board or to life, depending on the state of the game. 2 copies of Shanks. This is a promo 16. This is from the Uda promo deck when the game first came out. It's an 8-drop, 10,000 power, 1k. It's a vanilla. He's not searchable in the deck. We're only running 2 copies, but it's just our top end until we can get some actual Straw Hat top ends that are like big bodies like that, like the 8 with a 10,000 power base as a vanilla would be awesome. And there might be some there. I just need to do some more looking. But yeah, just the same concept. Just deploy it down and just swing pace. Same thing with the Luffy here. This is a promo number 22. It's the same from the Shanks, the Uda deck. So this one is searchable. It's a 4/6 vanilla with a 1k counter. Right here we have Monkey D. Luffy. This is promo number 80. This is a 7/9 vanilla. So it's a 1k counter. I'm running this in the deck just for the Sims purpose, but in paper this probably will not be a thing because I do not have any of these. But it's a 7/9 vanilla. Like I said, once we start getting some bigger vanilla bodies in the Straw Hat tag, this one will probably be replaced as well. I just want to make sure that my deck profiles are obtainable for you viewers and stuff. So if you see the deck, you like it, you want to try it out in paper, I'm not like putting crazy cards in there that are hard to get or impossible to find. So the deck might not be most optimal, but I want to make sure it's most functional for in paper as well. So we're running 2 copies of Nami from the starter deck 1. This is the 1-drop 1,000 power 1k counter. Activate main once per turn to give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. And like I said, with starter deck 21, when I make version 2, we get a lot of this kind of effect. So I'll definitely be experimenting with cards from starter deck 21 with the Sanji and Strawhats. But right now we're running 2 copies of Nami. Our last 2k for the deck is Brook from starter deck 1. Just a 2-drop, 3,000 power, 2k counter. If you need to play it out, it's viable on play. Give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. You won't be able to rush with it, so 9 out of 10 times it's just a 2k in hand that's searchable off the Nami. And our last card for the deck, we're running 4 copies of Guard Point from starter deck 1. I opted for Guard Point over Radical Beam because this gives us 3k counter at every stage in the game, where Rad Beam gives us 2k and then it gives us 4k. So I just kind of wanted to I went heavy medium and just ran the guard points. I'm happy with the guard points. You can run Radical Beams if you would prefer, or some kind of a split in between, or even the 0-drop event. There's definitely options, but I wanted to put more bodies in the deck, and this was the only event that I really felt was viable to save our big bodies, because we got some top end powerhouse here, 7, 8, 10. We're giving it just an extra 3,000 power for 1 Dawn. It can help save these big bodies from being taken out, because they do take a lot of Dawn investment on your opponent in order to try to pressure into them. So being able to just keep 1 Dawn open to give it 3,000 power early in the game is just as good as giving it 3,000 power in the end game. But this is the deck profile for Sanji with the Straw Hat crew for OP10. But I will be doing up a version 2 after I get through my editing of this version with the massive amount of gameplay videos that I have. If you haven't noticed, I'm a big Sanji fan in this game. Up first, we have Sanji versus Usopp We choose to go first. We do take a mulligan here. The opponent does as well. Get our Dawn, passing it over. They get their Dawn, passing it back. 3 Dawn here. We're just going to put on leader and go 8 into life. They take this first hit. We just pass it back to them. Usopp's going to pressure 5 into life. We're going to take the first hit. They have 4 Dawn. They're going to play out a Cavendish, passing it back. We're at 5 Dawn now. 2 on leader, going 7 into life. We're going to deploy out the Sanji here, giving it rush with our leader effect, going 6 into life. Opponent counters out of this hit. They're down to 2 life. We just pass it back. Leader's going to come at the Sanji, 5 into 3 here. We're going to take this. We can get a draw card off it. Cavendish is going to go 6 into life. They get to draw 2 and then trash 1 with their 1 attacking ability. We're going to give him a counter here. We're going to add a couple counters, actually. We gave him the Luffy, and we'll give him the... Betting between the Nami and the Luffy. Just depends. We're going to give him the Luffy here because the 5-7 is a little bit bigger. They're going to play down a Rebecca Searcher, getting a Bartolomeo, and then trashing the remaining cards. Playing out their stage here, the Coliseum. They're going to play out a Cavendish, passing it back. We're going to attack with leader first, going 5 into life. They have 2 life. They're going to counter out. Now we're going to play down the Frankie here, giving it rush. And we're going to pressure 8 into life with our Frankie. They take this hit, opponent's at 1 life, passing it back. We did leave 1 Dawn open for guard point. They're going to swing Cavendish into life here, drawing 2, trashing a card. We're going to counter out. They're going to go with the Cavendish again, going 6 into life so they can draw some more, trashing cards. Kind of filtering. We're going to counter. Here comes Usopp for 5 on into life. We're going to take this hit. They're going to play out a Leo here, resting their stage. They're getting an Adio and a 1-legged soldier. And then scoop. Up next we have Sanji versus Gear 5 Luffy, Purple-Black Luffy. We go first here. So we're just going to draw our Dawn, play out our Nami Searcher here. We're going to grab a Sanji, passing it back to the opponent. Opponent's going to play out their Law Searcher here. They're going to reveal and grab the starter deck 14 Sanji. Then they just pass it back to us. 3 Dawn now. We're going to go 5 into life here with leader first. Give us a 2k out of there, which is good. We're going to deploy out the Sanji here, giving it rush. We're going to pressure 6 into life. Opponent's going to give us the counter here. We're just going to pass the turn. Opponent's going to play Gum Gum Lightning to get rid of our Sanji. And we're going to draw a card from that. Then they're going to play out Zorojuro and then pressure 5 into life. We're going to take this hit. Back to us. We draw into the 4-6 Vanilla Luffy. Going to go 5 into life. And they got 3 cards in hand, so we're going to pressure that hand a little bit. They take this hit. We're going to deploy down the Usopp, giving it rush. And then we're going to just go 5 into life with the Usopp. We like the Usopp here because if they do decide to try to take care of it, we could pop the Zorojuro. They counter, and we just pass it back to them. So opponent's going to pressure forward to Zorojuro, or into our leader here. We take that. They're going to play down their Sanji, popping off our Usopp. And then we're just going to get rid of their Zorojuro. 7 into life here with leader. We're going to guard point out. Passing back to us. We're going to go 5 into life here with leader. Pressuring 5 into life. They give us a 2k. We're going to deploy down the Frankie, giving it rush. Pressuring 8 into life. They take this hit. We have 1 dot open. We're going to leave for our guard point and just pass it over to the opponent. Opponent's going to play down their Frankie using the on-play effect. They're going to Dawn -2. They're going to trash a card and draw 2. Leader's going to get some Dawn back with its effect. So the opponent put a bunch of Dawn on Sanji, pressuring into our Frankie here. Going to counter out. Now they're going to go 5 into life. We're going to give him a counter. Opponent passes it back over to us. 9 Dawn now. We do have the 8-10 Shanks in hand. So they have the Frankie blocker we need to get through. They have 4 cards in hand and 2 life. So we're going to put 2 Dawn on our leader here, going 7 into life. See if they want to give the Frankie blocker up or a couple cards. They're going to use their blocker here. So now we have an 8-key swing with Frankie. We're going to pressure life. They're going to take this hit. And now we're going to drop down the 7-9 Luffy. Going to give it rush. And we're going to pressure Sanji here. Letting that Sanji go. We're going to pass it back over to the opponent here. They're going to play out 1-legged soldier. They're going to use the activate main effect to give our Luffy -3. Then they're going to play out the Sanji, popping it with their on-play effect. So they're going to put the remaining Dawn on their leader. They're going to pressure 8 into our rested Frankie here. We're going to over counter, and opponent scoops it up. So here we have Sanji versus Purple Yellow Robin. The opponent chooses to go first. They just get a Dawn and passing it over to us. So we're at 2 Dawn. We're going to play out our Nami Searcher We're going to get a Sanji. We're going to pass it over to the opponent here. Opponent's going to put their 3 Dawn on their Robin, going 8 into 5, using its leader effect to trash a card and ramp a Dawn. 8 into 5 here with Banish. We're going to take that first hit, so they did trash a Nami. Back to us. We're going to go 5 into life with our leader. They take the first hit. Going to drop down a 4-6 Luffy. We're going to give it rush. Pressure 6 into life. They're going to counter out of this hit. We just pass it back to them. Leader's going to go 5 into our Sanji here. They're going to use their leader effect to ramp again. Going to give them a counter here. They're going to play out their Nico Robin, trashing our top life. We're going to go 6 into leader with our Luffy. They take the hit. They're going to use the trigger effect from life to draw 2 cards off Jewelry Bonnie. We're going to deploy down a Frankie, giving it rush. And we're going to pressure 8 into life here with the Frankie. They take this hit, and they get a Sol from life trigger, giving them a blocker on field. They're going to counter out of the Sanji hit. We just pass it back to them. Opponent's going to use their Sol blocker here to pressure life, 5 into life. We're going to take that hit. They're going to go with their leader effect, or leader attacking now. We're going to give them a counter here. They have 9 Dawn to work with, 1 life. They're going to pressure with their Nico Robin character, a 6k swing into our rested Luffy here. Depending if we want to counter this or let it go, we're going to give them the counter. They're going to play down a Katakuri here. With the on-play effect, they're going to put Sol back into life, and then just pass it to us. Back over to us, we're going to pressure with the Frankie. We're going to go 8 into that rested Robin character. They're going to use Gum Gum Giant here to protect it. We're going to put 3 on our Nami. Let's make it 4 on Nami. We're going to pressure 6 into that rested Robin. Opponent counters out. We're going to play out our Sanji. We're going to use our leader effect to give that Sanji rush. We're going to put 1 Dawn on our leader. Going 6 into life here. They're going to take that, getting the Sol blocker back on the field. We're going to go 6 into life again with our rested Luffy. They take this last hit. They get a Brûlée blocker. And now we have another 6k swing with the Sanji. They're going to give us the Brûlée blocker there. Passing it back over to the opponent. Opponent's going to pressure with their leader going 5 into life here. We don't want to overcounter, so we're just going to give them up that Sanji. They're going to play down Yamato. They were only able to get rid of our Nami Searcher, which is great for us. Opponent's going to go 6 into that rested Sanji with their Nico Robin. We're going to give it to them. So we draw a card. They're going to go 8 into the Luffy. I think we're going to counter this one, save it. We want to keep the bodies on board to pressure for game next turn. Back over to us. We're at 10 Dawn. We're going to put 3 on the Luffy, going 9 into life here. They have to either go to life or the blocker. They gave us the blocker. We're going to go 2 a Dawn to Frankie, going 10. They take it. We're going to put the remaining Dawn on our... Oh, they got a Frankie out of life trigger, and then we're just going to put 5 on leader, pressuring 10 into life. Last one for you here. We have Sanji versus Sanji. We choose to go first here. Get our Dawn, play out our Nami Searcher. We're going to grab the guard point here. It's just a really good counter. Back to the opponent, they're going to play down a Nami Searcher. And they get a Tony Chopper. They're going to play out another Nami Searcher. And they're going to get Radical Beam. Passing it back over to us. We're going to go 5 into life with leader. They take the first hit. We're going to deploy out the Sanji here, giving it rush. So we can have another 6k swing into life. See if they'll give it 2k out of hand. They do. We just pass it back to the opponent. Opponent's going to play down their Tony Chopper blocker. And pressure 5 into life with their leader. We're going to take this hit. We do get a 2k Sanji from life. We're going to put 1 Dawn on Sanji, and we're going to go 7 into life. They take this hit. We're going to put 1 on leader. We're going to go 6 into life. They're going to use their blocker and then counter to save the blocker. We're going to play down Sanji again, giving it rush. Going 6 into the rested Tony Chopper here. They're going to counter again. We're just going to pass it over to the opponent. Opponent's going to play down Zoro from starter deck 1. They're going to put 1 on their Nami and pressuring to our rested Sanji here. If we let it go, we get to draw a card. But we're just going to counter and save it. See if they want to use more Dawn. They do. So they're going to use the Nami again to pressure the Sanji. We let them have it that time. We do get a Nami from our top of our deck from the draw. They're going to go 5 with their leader into our rested Sanji here. They're just trying to do some board control this turn. We're going to give it to them. We do get a Nami. And then we're going to go 7 into life with their Zoro. We take this hit, and they pass it back to us. We're at 7 Dawn. We do have 2 guard points in hand. We're going to use our Nami here and pressure one of their rested Namis. They're going to give that one to us. And now we're going to pressure the other rested Nami with our leader. They give that to us. Just trying to do some board control ourselves. We're going to play out the vanilla Nami here using the other Nami's effect to give it a rested Dawn, using leader effect, giving it rush. And we're going to pressure 8 into the rested Zoro, see if they want to give up some cards from hand to save it, or their blocker. They're going to let us have it, and we pass it back. We do leave one Dawn open for guard point. We're at 3 life. They're going to play out Wapple, giving it a Dawn. So Wapple can go up to one of your opponent's characters -2, and then give itself like +3 or something like that. We're gonna counter out. They did pressure the Nami. They're gonna put one Dawn on leader, going 6 into 5 here. We're gonna give them the counter to save it. Passing it back over to us. We're gonna put 2 Dawn on our leader here. We're gonna have a 7k swing into life. They take this hit. They use the radical beam trigger. So we have a 7k swing with our Nami into their 6k leader. They take this hit. We're going to play down our 7-9 Luffy with rush, or giving it rush with leader effect. And we're going to pressure life, but they're going to use their blocker. We just pass it over to the opponent here. Opponent's at 10 Dawn. They're going to play down another Wapple, giving each of them a Dawn. They're going to attack into our rested Nami with the Wapple, giving it some minus and giving itself power boost. We let them have it. They're going to put another Dawn on their Wapple, going 10, using the effect on the Luffy. We're going to let them have it. Now they have a 5k swing into life. We're just going to counter out. They have one Dawn open, assuming it's for radical beam, because they did show it. We're going to put 2 Dawn on leader. We're going to pressure 7 into life here with our Sanji. They're going to use the radical beam, as we assumed they had it. Now we're going to drop down the 8-10 Shanks, giving it rush. And we're going to pressure into one of the rested Wapples. They give that up to us. And we just pass it back over to the opponent. Opponent's going to play down another Wapple, giving each of their Wapples Dawn. They're going to attack 7 into our rested Shanks, making it an 8k. We're just going to counter out. They're going to go 9 into the Shanks this time. We're going to give it to them. They're going to put 1 Dawn on their leader. They're going to pressure 6 into life. We're going to take this. We did get a Goldie Roger from life. We're going to put 4 Dawn on our leader here, and we're going to attack 9 into life. They take the last hit here. We're going to drop down the Frankie, using the Nami's activate main to give it a Dawn. Leader effect, giving it rush. And we're going to pressure 9 again into life. Opponent ran out of counter. GG. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos here. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. It helps the channel grow. We'll have the matches and the deck profile timestamps in the description. And as always, we will see you in the next one.